Chapter 1. The Singular Adventure of the Man in the Bath. Welcome, listeners. Imagine stepping into your bathroom one morning and finding a dead body in your tub. Startling, right? As Lord Peter Wimsey delves deeper into the mystery, the plot thickens, much like the London fog that seems to cloud the truth. Ready to uncover more secrets? Let's continue our journey through the baffling case in Dorothy L. Sayers, whose body? Quote, Chapter 1 begins with Lord Peter Wimsey, a well-to-do British nobleman with a penchant for detective work, rushing to retrieve a forgotten auction catalogue. Just as he's about to head off to a book sale, he receives a call from his mother, the Dowager Duchess. She informs him of a strange and unsettling event. Mr. Phipps, an architect who lives in Battersea, has discovered a dead body in his bathtub. The body is that of a man, completely naked except for a pair of pince-nez glasses perched on his nose. Intrigued, Lord Peter abandons his plans and heads over to Mr. Phipps' apartment to investigate. Upon arrival, he finds Mr. Phipps highly distressed by the grisly discovery. Mr. Phipps describes how he found the corpse that morning, an experience that has left him and his elderly mother deeply shaken. Lord Peter, however, is more fascinated than horrified. He carefully examines the body, noting the meticulous grooming and the oddity of the pince-nez. As he prepares to leave, Lord Peter crosses paths with the bumbling Inspector Sugg from Scotland Yard, who is also on the scene. Unlike Lord Peter, Inspector Sugg lacks the finesse and insight needed for such a peculiar case. The chapter ends with Lord Peter eager to dive deeper into the mystery of this unidentified corpse. Chapter 2. Clues and Conundrums. Chapter 2 finds Lord Peter back in his luxurious apartment, engaging in a light-hearted conversation with his manservant, Bunter, about the morning's events and the successful acquisitions Bunter made at the book sale. The mood shifts when Lord Peter's friend, Inspector Parker, arrives. Parker, a professional detective and frequent collaborator of Lord Peter, brings news of another mysterious case: the sudden and unexplained disappearance of Sir Reuben Levy, a wealthy financier. Parker reveals that Sir Reuben vanished from his home, leaving behind all his belongings, including his spectacles, which he would never part with due to his poor eyesight. Parker initially wondered if the body found in Mr. Phipps' bath could be Sir Reuben, but after examining it, he concludes that it is not. Despite this, the two cases are bizarre enough to pique the interest of both men. The chapter concludes with Lord Peter and Parker considering the strange circumstances surrounding the two mysteries. Their discussion, laced with both humor and seriousness, sets the stage for the investigation ahead, as they begin to suspect there might be a deeper connection between the two incidents. Chapter 3. With the strange events surrounding the body in the bathtub and the disappearance of Sir Reuben Levy fresh in his mind, Lord Peter begins to explore all possible angles. He's not the type to leave any stone unturned, and his first step is to visit the scene where Sir Reuben was last seen. Peter knows that understanding the environment is crucial, so he makes his way to the financier's home in Park Lane, where he meticulously examines every detail of the missing man's bedroom. In a scene dripping with suspense, Peter notes the unusual position of the bed, with the pillows strangely placed together, suggesting that Sir Reuben had not slept as he normally would. His suspicions are further piqued by the small, but significant, clues left behind. The scene tells a story, one that speaks of haste, perhaps panic, but certainly of something being terribly amiss. Peter's sharp eye catches these anomalies, and he begins to piece together a narrative that goes beyond a mere disappearance. But the question remains: what could have caused Sir Reuben to leave so abruptly, without a word or even his glasses? The pieces of the puzzle are slowly coming together, But Peter knows he'll need more than just speculation to solve this case. Chapter 4. The fog outside may be thick, but the plot inside is getting clearer. As Lord Peter continues his investigation, he uncovers more than just physical clues. He starts to see the emotional and psychological layers of the people involved. One of the key elements that come to light is Sir Reuben Levy's complex character. Lord Peter, who's now thoroughly engrossed in the case, decides to meet with Sir Reuben's associates to gain more insight into the man behind the mystery. In these conversations, Peter learns that Sir Reuben was not just a shrewd businessman but a man with his own set of peculiarities and potential enemies. This new information leads Peter to suspect that the financier's disappearance is far from random. It might be deeply connected to his dealings and the people around him. The tension builds as Peter starts to wonder if the body in the bath could, after all, have some connection to Sir Reuben's fate. Despite initial impressions, this chapter is less about tangible clues and more about understanding the man who is at the center of this enigma. Sir Reuben is revealed to be a complex figure, and Peter realizes that to solve this case, he must think not just like a detective but also like the man he is trying to find. Chapter 5. The investigation takes an unexpected turn as Peter and Parker compare notes. Parker shares some intriguing details from his inquiries, particularly concerning Sir Reuben's last known interactions and the business deal that was supposed to take place on the day he disappeared. They piece together that Sir Reuben's absence has thrown the financial world into a bit of chaos, raising the stakes of the investigation. While Parker focuses on the professional side, Peter continues to follow the trail of human details, the habits, relationships, and personal connections that might hold the key to the mystery. Peter's intuition tells him that the truth might lie in something that everyone else has overlooked. He returns to the scene of the crime, or rather, scenes, with a fresh perspective. His investigation into Mr. Thip's apartment uncovers a significant clue: a pair of distinctive glasses. Could these be the same glasses Sir Reuben always wore? The pieces start to align, suggesting that the two mysteries might indeed be one and the same. But just as things begin to make sense, a new twist emerges. Inspector Sugg, always a step behind, arrests an unlikely suspect, muddying the waters further. Peter knows he's close to something, but with Sugg's interference, he needs to act fast to unravel the truth before it's too late. And that, dear listeners, brings us to the end of this part of our story. Make sure to like this video, hit that bell icon, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next chapter of this thrilling mystery. What do you think of the investigation so far? And which book should we dive into next? Let us know in the comments below. Chapter 6. The day dawns with a renewed sense of urgency for Lord Peter. His mind is buzzing with the details he's gathered so far, but he knows that something crucial is still missing, something that could tie everything together. With this in mind, he decides to pay a visit to Sir Julian Freke, a well-known surgeon and neurologist who lives near Mr. Thip's apartment. Sir Julian's expertise in the human body, coupled with his proximity to the crime scene, makes him a person of interest in Peter's eyes. Peter is not disappointed. Sir Julian, with his sharp mind and clinical precision, provides insights that make Peter think deeper about the body's condition and how it might relate to Sir Reuben's disappearance. Their conversation, however, leaves Peter with a curious feeling, an intuition that there's more to Sir Julian than meets the eye. Although nothing concrete emerges from this meeting, Peter files away every word and every nuance for future reference. As he continues to puzzle over the case, Peter decides to retrace his steps, revisiting the evidence and questioning the people involved. It's during one of these re-examinations that Peter stumbles upon something subtle yet striking. A pattern in the sequence of events that hints at a carefully orchestrated plan. This realization drives Peter to dig even deeper, determined to uncover the mastermind behind it all. Chapter 7. The investigation takes on a new intensity as Lord Peter feels the pressure mounting. Every clue, every conversation now carries weight, and he knows he's on the verge of a breakthrough. The key, he realizes, lies in understanding the connection between Sir Reuben Levy and the mysterious body in Mr. Thipps' bathtub. But to make sense of it, he needs to bring all the players into focus, including those who seem to be in the background. In a strategic move, Peter enlists the help of his old friend, Detective Parker, to gather more intelligence on Sir Julian Freak. Together, they explore Freak's background, his professional life, and any potential motives he might have had. What they uncover is both fascinating and chilling. Sir Julian, it seems, has been involved in some controversial medical experiments and is known for his unorthodox views on life and death. As they dig deeper, Peter and Parker begin to see a possible connection between Freak's medical knowledge and the peculiarities of the case. Could Sir Julian have had a hand in orchestrating the events that led to the body in the bath? The idea seems far-fetched, but Peter has learned to trust his instincts, no matter how improbable they may seem. With each new piece of information, the mystery deepens, and the stakes grow higher. Peter knows that the truth is within reach, but it will take all his skill and determination to bring it to light. We're getting closer to the heart of the mystery. Folks, make sure to like this video, hit that bell icon, and subscribe to stay updated on the next thrilling chapters. What do you think of Lord Peter's deductions so far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which mystery we should tackle next. Chapter 8. Peter's mind is racing with possibilities as he ponders the intricate web that seems to connect Sir Julian Freak to the mysterious body and Sir Reuben Levy's disappearance. However, he knows that speculation alone will not solve the case. He needs hard evidence. With this in mind, Peter decides to take a more direct approach. He pays another visit to Mr. Thipps, hoping to gather additional details that might have been overlooked. During this visit, Peter's sharp eye catches something new. A faint smell of chemicals in the bathroom where the body was found. It is a subtle clue, but in Peter's experience, such details often lead to big discoveries. He questions Mr. Thipps further, asking about anyone who might have had access to the apartment or any unusual deliveries. Thipps, still shaken by the whole affair, tries to recall every detail, but nothing seems out of place until Peter notices the peculiar reaction Thipps has to the mention of Sir Julian Freak. It is nothing overt, but it is enough to make Peter suspect that Thipps might know more than he realizes about the famous surgeon. Peter's intuition pushes him to dig deeper into Sir Julian's affairs. He decides to visit the surgeon's hospital under the guise of needing medical advice. This allows him to subtly question the staff and observe the environment. What he finds is a well-respected but somewhat aloof man, whose colleagues admire his brilliance but speak cautiously about his methods. There is a hint of something dark beneath the surface, an unsettling undercurrent that Peter cannot quite put his finger on yet. Chapter 9. As Peter continues to piece together the puzzle, he finds himself increasingly drawn to the idea that Sir Julian Freak is more involved in this case than anyone realizes. But without concrete evidence, he is hesitant to make any accusations. He spends his evenings poring over medical books, trying to understand how someone with Freak's knowledge might use it to commit the perfect crime. Then, a breakthrough comes. Peter receives a letter from Bunter, who has been conducting his own discreet inquiries. Bunter reports that a significant amount of medical supplies, particularly chemicals, have been delivered to Sir Julian's private residence over the past few months. The quantities are far more than a surgeon would typically require for routine procedures, leading Peter to suspect that these supplies were used for something far more sinister. Armed with this new information, Peter visits Parker to share his findings. Together, they begin to outline a theory, one that suggests Sir Julian may have used his expertise to create a false death or perhaps even switch bodies. But before they can act on this theory, they need to be absolutely sure. Peter decides to take one last, bold step. He will confront Sir Julian Freak directly. This confrontation is fraught with tension. Peter arrives at Freak's home under the pretense of a social visit, but his real intention is to gauge the man's reactions and probe his involvement in the case. The conversation is a dance of words, with each man carefully choosing what to reveal and what to conceal. Peter notices that Freak is calm, almost too calm, as if he is playing a game where he believes he holds all the winning cards. As the evening progresses, Peter drops hints that suggest he knows more than he is letting on. Freak, still composed, does not betray any concern, but Peter leaves the house more convinced than ever that Freak is hiding something. Now, it is only a matter of time before the truth comes out. The tension is building, and we are on the brink of a major revelation. If you're as hooked as I am, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on the next chapters. What do you think Sir Julian is hiding? Share your theories in the comments, and let us know which mystery you'd like us to uncover next. Chapter 10. Just when you think you've got all the answers, another twist comes your way. Lord Peter Wimsey is closing in on the truth, but the closer he gets, the more dangerous the game becomes. Let's continue unraveling the mystery in Dorothy L. Sayers' Whose Body? Quote, as the investigation reaches a critical point, Lord Peter decides it is time to bring in an expert. His old friend, Mr. Parker, who works with Scotland Yard. Peter shares everything he has uncovered so far, from the suspicious behavior of Sir Julian Freak to the chemicals delivered to his residence. Parker is impressed but cautious. Together, they begin to construct a timeline, trying to see how the disappearance of Sir Reuben Levy and the discovery of the body in Mr. Thipps' bathtub might be connected. Their brainstorming session leads to an astonishing realization. The body in the bathtub might have been deliberately altered to obscure its true identity. The idea is shocking, but it fits with everything they know about Sir Julian Freak's skills and interests. If Freak did, in fact, manipulate the corpse, then it suggests a level of premeditation that points to a much darker motive than they initially suspected. With this new theory in mind, Peter and Parker begin to gather the final pieces of evidence. They track down anyone who had interacted with Sir Reuben in the days leading up to his disappearance and carefully re-examine the body in the morgue. It is during this investigation that they discover a small but significant detail, one that had been overlooked before. This discovery not only confirms their suspicions about the body's true identity but also strengthens the case against Freak. As they close in on the truth, Peter knows it is only a matter of time before Freak realizes he is under suspicion. The tension is palpable, and Peter understands that they must move quickly before Freak has a chance to cover his tracks or, worse, disappear altogether. Chapter 11. Peter's next move is bold and risky, but he knows it is the only way to catch Freak off guard. He arranges a meeting with Sir Julian under the pretense of discussing a medical issue. When Peter arrives at Freak's office, the atmosphere is tense. Freak is polite but guarded, clearly aware that Peter is not just there for casual conversation. Peter begins by asking Freak a series of seemingly innocuous questions about neurology and forensic medicine. slowly steering the conversation toward the topic of body alterations and the challenges of identifying a corpse. Freak answers smoothly, but Peter notices a flicker of something in his eyes. Perhaps concern. Perhaps something darker. Then, Peter drops the bombshell. He casually mentions the name of Sir Reuben Levy. Watching Freak's reaction closely, there is a momentary pause, just long enough for Peter to see that his suspicions are correct. Freak knows something, but instead of confronting him directly, Peter allows the conversation to continue, all the while laying subtle traps to see how Freak will respond. As the meeting draws to a close, Peter leaves with more confidence than ever that Sir Julian Freak is involved in both the disappearance of Sir Reuben and the body in the bathtub. However, he also knows that proving this in a court of law will require more than just clever questioning. It will require undeniable proof. The chapter ends with Peter and Parker planning their next steps. They know the case is about to break wide open, but they also realize that with Freak being such a cunning and intelligent man, the final move in this deadly game must be played perfectly. We are on the brink of the final revelation. If you're as excited as I am to see how this mystery wraps up, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the thrilling conclusion. What do you think will happen next? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which mystery you want to solve together in our next adventure. Chapter 12. With the investigation reaching its climax, Lord Peter Wimsey knows that it is time to confront Sir Julian Freak head-on. Armed with all the evidence he and Parker have painstakingly gathered, Peter prepares for a showdown that will either crack the case wide open or lead to more questions. But before making his move, Peter decides to consult one last time with Parker to ensure they have left no stone unturned. The two men review everything. The oddities of the body found in Mr. Thip's bathtub, the discrepancies in Sir Reuben Levy's disappearance, and the trail of circumstantial evidence that all points back to Sir Julian Freak. They realize that the timing is crucial. If they wait too long, Freak might slip through their fingers. If they move too quickly, they risk not having enough to secure a conviction. Peter decides that there is only one way to be sure. He must provoke a reaction from Freak that will force the surgeon to reveal his hand. To do this, Peter devises a plan to lure Freak into a trap, using his knowledge of human psychology and Freak's own arrogance against him. The scene is set for a dramatic confrontation. Peter sends a note to Sir Julian, inviting him to an exclusive dinner at his club under the guise of discussing a new medical theory. Freak, confident in his own superiority and unaware of Peter's true intentions, agrees to the meeting. The stage is set. At the dinner, Peter plays the part of a curious layman, asking Freak about his work and subtly steering the conversation toward the subjects of identity, death, and the difficulties of distinguishing one body from another. Freak, enjoying the attention and the chance to display his intellect, becomes increasingly animated, revealing more than he intends. Peter watches carefully, waiting for the right moment. Then, as the conversation reaches its peak, Peter presents Freak with a hypothetical scenario that mirrors the events surrounding Sir Reuben Levy and the body in the bathtub. Freak's reaction is immediate and telling. His composure falters for just a moment, but it is enough for Peter to see the truth. Freak is caught, but he does not yet realize it. As the evening concludes, Peter thanks Freak for his time and leaves the club, his mind racing with the final steps needed to bring the case to a close. He knows that Freak is too clever to leave anything to chance and that his next move will be crucial in securing justice for Sir Reuben Levy. The suspense is at an all-time high as we edge closer to the truth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop as we uncover the final twists in this thrilling mystery. What do you think Peter's next move should be? Share your thoughts in the comments. And let us know which book you'd like to explore next.